was a good win against Clemson, thanks, but it was not what we were looking for. So we don't play till Sunday, so it was a chance to have a good practice, and we went a little long, so I apologize. So, look, the Clemson game, I saw you guys post game and addressed a few other things. I just thought their defense in the second half was abysmal. We got to get our whole mindset disposition fixed. Trelly's gradually doing more in practice and will be a game time decision. And I'm be honest with you, the more I see him in practice, the more we need him because he'll fix our defense in a hurry. He plays hard. He's physical. He can guard the ball. He's got a disposition about him that we're currently missing. So, Clark's gradually ramping him back up. Hopefully, tomorrow's a little bit better than today, and hopefully he can play on Sunday, but he'll be a game time decision. Biz did not practice today just to try to give his wrist a little more rest, but he'll be a game time decision as well. We'll see what he feels like Saturday, Sunday, and then Jalil workload will continue to go up. His minutes restriction will be a little bit higher. And then Keaton is back to doing some basketball workouts. Didn't do anything live today, though, and he's doubtful for Sunday, but very hopeful that he'll be back by the Arizona game. So that's the health update. And I'll be honest, like getting Trelly back in, I'm really looking forward to it because we need him. So hopefully he can play a little bit Sunday just to get some game reps under his belt before we play Arizona. But when he gets back, I think our defense will be markedly improved. Aiden Sherrell's rim protection's getting much better. The 8 blocks. Guess Clemson sent us the notes, the second most blocks by a Clemson opponent in Clemson basketball history. So that's pretty good company to be in, considering they've been in the ACC, which has produced hundreds of pros come out of that league. So that's a pretty impressive stat. I thought Taylor really answered the bell today in practice. And if we can get him to guard like he guarded today in practice, we'll have a pretty formidable front court. And then I think Trelly can help our backcourt, and we'll get the defense headed the right direction, which is the biggest point of emphasis we've got going right now. So going into UTSA, obviously I love Austin Claunch. He was here for a year. We went to the Final Four with him. He did a great job as an assistant. Big program, culture guy. His teams are going to play hard. He's not quite playing the same way we would play. Obviously, he's got different personnel, but they'll attack the rim. They'll play pretty fast. They'll play open. He's got his one guard, Jameer Simpson's been pretty dang good and can really shoot it. So, we're going to have to do a good job on him because he could get loose on us. They're one of the better rebounding teams in the country, which makes sense because Austin's going to get his guys to play hard. So I think they're 28th in the country in rebounding. So, and that's been an issue that we've had. So while, we know we're going to be the favorite in the game, couple of things that they do well, we got focus on. And rebounding is one of the things they do really well, and we haven't done well at a lot. So we got to do a better job rebounding against them, and then we're going to really have to make sure our perimeter defense, particularly on Simpson's good. I just last night watched the Georgia Southern UTSA game, and Charlie Henry, our former assistant, who did a great job here as well. That Charlie was up on them, I think maybe 15 points, and then UTSA just kept driving them in the second half and getting to the rim. So we're going to have to really guard our one-on-one defense. Our perimeter players' defensive pride is going to have to be a lot better. So that's what we're going to be looking for in our transition D. I think we did a very good job in transition against Clemson, particularly in the second half, and UTSA will run on us. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, what did you think of Jalil in his debut on Wednesday, and just what are the next steps you want to see from him as he continues to ramp up?
You know what? I thought he was pretty good. He got the offensive rebound put back. I thought his effort, his energy, his attitude, his I thought he was about the right stuff. It would have been nice if we could have maintained a 15 to 20 point lead like we had in the first half, and I could have got him more minutes in the second half. I just wasn't as comfortable with him being missing 3 months plus to kind of have him in there in the second half in the close game. So just had a really good practice though. So if he continues to play like he did in practice today, has another good one tomorrow, his minutes should go up on Sunday.
Yeah, just what are some things you remember about Austin, and what's it like playing a former assistant?
Yeah, I mean, I like to see the former assistants. I don't know that I would say I like playing against them, like, because I'm pulling for them to get wins every time they play. You know, Brian got a nice win over an undefeated Utah State team last night. So anytime Austin, Brian, Petway, Charlie plays, I'm pulling for them. Obviously, when they play us, we gotta do our best to beat them. So, but it's good to bring them back. I like, seeing the guys. Hopefully I'll be able to see Austin on Saturday before we play them. We made a Final Four when he was here. He did a really good job as a head coach at Nichols. Left the head coaching job there to come here to try to, play his way into getting a better head job. It worked. He was here 1 year. He got the UTSA job. I thought he did a really good job with the players, just culture, getting guys to be good teammates, getting them to play hard, play together. I think that's his strong suits, and I think he's trying to figure out what fits this team the best as far as system-wise, how to play. So, but they're going to play fast. All of our assistants, nobody leaves here and plays slow. Like we don't play slow around here. So they play fast. They get on the glass, and he gives his guys freedom to make plays. So, it'd be good to see him when he comes here. He did a really good job as an assistant for the year he was here with us. It's the only time the program's been in the Final Four. So pretty good year.
How have you seen Latrell Wrightsell's mindset impacted, as it's kind of been a injury-bitten start to the season for him? Has he, managed to stay up, or is it just kind of a repeat of last year?
Well, look, based on today's practice, he was unbelievable. Like, now, he was limited. He couldn't do, he's mainly in half-court stuff. Couldn't finish the practice because he hit his player load that Clark and Henry measure, and once he hit it, they pull him out so we don't get injuries. But he was great. I thought his energy, his mindset. Now, I will say it's discouraging as an athlete to put. It's been over a year since the Achilles tear, so to spend a year, and he's been in here. We get back from Vegas. He had the surgery. He got in. He's been rehabbing for a year, and he's in that training room. And so to rehab for over a year and not really be able to play. He's played some games this year. He's pretty good against St. John's. But then, to go back down with the other leg, and some of that maybe compensating because, it's hard to get your mind back. So I know he's been up, down. He's met with our sports psychologist a little bit, but he's a really positive kid. He's a great teammate, plays super hard. And based on what I just walked out of, if he can get back in, play some limited minutes on Sunday, be ready to roll, hopefully with no minutes restriction next Saturday against Arizona, stay injury-free moving forward. He's going to have himself a really good, senior year, and where he's going to help us tremendously. So, yeah, I would say I wouldn't say he struggled greatly, but there's definitely some. You put that much time in, you want to play, and he wanted to play the first game, and we were, 8 games in now, and he hasn't been able to play as much as he would have wanted. So a little bit frustrating, but I think he's done a really good job. Based on today's practice, he's done a great job keeping himself together and being a great teammate and having himself ready to go when he is healthy and can play.
I know you have the Arizona game next week, but a lot more bye games on this second half of the non-conference schedule than in the first half. Just what do you want to see out of this team in those games as y'all kind of ramp up and get ready for SEC play? Yeah,
so we were definitely front-loaded with the big games this year, a lot more in November than December. Like you said, we do have Arizona coming up. They're, what are they, third in the country right now or something? Second? Okay, second. I didn't even know. They're really good. All right, so, we've got the UTSA game, and I'm certainly not talking about Arizona, with any of our players because we can't overlook anybody. We've lost bye games here before. But then we will have bye games after Arizona. But the bye games, if you look, are South Florida. Brian's been with me a long time. He can't find anybody to buy him. Nobody wanted to buy South Florida this year. So it's not like we're playing bye games against some bad teams we're supposed to beat by 40. Like, they're really good. He got really high-level talent. That's what he does. Then we're going to play Kennesaw State, but it's technically up in Huntsville. Petway's got a really good team. He's done a good job. He's got players. And then Yale. And Yale's the best team in the Ivy. Yale beat Auburn pretty recently in the NCAA tournament. So Yale's a really good team. Not typically a team that very many people would buy either. So, wow, they may be bye games. They're not your typical bye games in that they're bad teams. They're really good teams. So we have UTSA, Arizona, and 3 very good games against really good, whatever you want to call them, mid-major, mid-plus. I don't know that you can call. South Florida's probably going to be in a high major league here real quick, I would think. So they're an up-and-coming high major team, I would call them. So we may have paid them some money to come here because that's how it works in the system, but certainly not going to be an easy game. So I don't like scheduling, easy games, if you will. I think you got to put your players in tough games, expose them for what they got. We got exposed against Clemson in a bad way in the second half. We were 1.46 on defense. It's disgusting how bad we were on defense in the second half. Well, if you come in and you play an easy bye game on that game, today's practice won't look like it did today because it looked great. Our team looked like it's trying to compete for an SEC championship in practice today. You can't get that out of your team, or I should say it's extremely hard to get it out of your team as a coach when you come in and blow somebody out by 60. So that's not what we're in the business of doing around here.
Yeah, are you looking for someone to step up that hasn't really been super great so far against UTSA?
Yes, Taylor Bullbone. And based on today's practice, you'll see a different version of him because he looked great. We chart the blue-collar points, and he blew everybody out of the water. He was all over the place. He had 8 offensive rebounds. He looked like a completely different player, and if that's the version that we're going to get moving forward, this team will be significantly better.
Coach, you talked about the defensive effort, but what are some of the things that you want to see just your team do just from an every trip down the floor standpoint?
Yeah, one is get back. Okay, like they score, we chart, the official box score as fast break points, and I don't know exactly how that's charted. We chart them, and ours are a lot more accurate, and we gave up 18 points in transition to them, which is terrible. So let's start by getting our rear ends back to get the defense set. So that's number one. Got too many guys that are gambling like they're still in high school, and these high-quality Division I high major guards are not going to just hand you the ball like the bad high school players. So get back, and then when we're back, we got to do a better job on the ball. We got too many blow-bys, guys being driven, and so our on-ball defense, winning the first dribble, has got to get better. We got to have better off-ball gap activity to force some turnovers. We're not turning teams over enough, and then we got to close the possession with a rebound. So the start of it in our transition and the close of it with the defensive rebounding are 2 major problems. I think we're 48th this morning. I looked, I believe, if you go to KenPom and look on the defensive efficiency, it's terrible. All right, like we're trying to have a top 20 defense. We're a long ways away from it right now. I think we can make some strides here against UTSA in our transition, our rebounding. They're a very good rebounding team. So we're going to have to work hard to be a better rebounding team. And then when we play Arizona, they will push the ball extremely fast and hard. And I'm not talking to our players about Arizona yet, and then they're one of the most physical, best front courts you'll see in the country. So we're going to get tested. So these next 2 games, we got to be better. Transition, our physicality on the ball, our activity in the gaps, and then our closing the defense out with a defensive rebound so that we ourselves can get out. I mean, we had 70 possessions last game. That's not enough. Like, it's too slow. We had 84 against St. John's. Purdue held us, I believe, to 66. That's too slow. 70 against Clemson, that's too slow. Like, we need it up in the high 70s, pushing 80, if not in the 80s, every game. And the more offensive rebounds we give up, the fewer possessions we're going to have, because those possessions end up going really long on our defensive end. So those are the main things we're stressing with our defense here moving forward.
This isn't a basketball-related question, but Alabama's got Georgia this weekend in the SEC championship. Do you have any takes on what they're going to have to do to come out with a win? And
I'm a huge football fan. I love the fact I'm at a football school where football is important. I like going to the games. I like cheering for our team. Good luck to Coach DeBoer and the guys. We beat Georgia earlier. Obviously, Georgia's really good. They're ahead of us in the CFP ranking. So win would go a long ways. I'm not going to sit here and act like I have any idea what we need to do to beat Georgia in the game. I'm going to be pulling for it. We need to play hard. We need to not turn the ball over. Some general Monday morning quarterback stuff. But I'm sure Coach DeBoer will have them ready to go. He's had them ready to go against Georgia. In the past, I think he's 2-0 against Georgia since he's been here. So I'm sure Georgia's making that point to their team too. They're pretty good. But, it'd be great to get a win. Be great to have a home game. Or shoot, even get a bye. I don't know if we can make a jump up to top 4. If we could, that'd be great. But it'd be great to if we're not in that top 4 to have a home game in that first round, because I'd love to be at it. So, wishing them good luck. I'll be pulling for them, and then we obviously got our own game Sunday. So appreciate you guys being here. Good luck to the football team. Roll Tide.